Semangat semuanya. Oke, YouTube udah gue live. Semangat, kita mulai.
Can I call you baby? Can you be my friend? Can you be my lover up until the very end? Let me show you love. I don't pretend. Stick by my side even when the world is giving in. Oh, don't you worry. I'll be there whenever you want me. I need somebody who can love me at my worst. No, I'm not perfect, but I hope you see my worth. 'Cause it's only you, nobody knew I put you first. And for you, girl, I swear I do the worst. If you stay forever, let me hold your hand. I can feel those places in your heart no one else can. Let me show you love. I don't pretend. I'll be right here, baby. You know it's sink or swim. Oh, don't you worry. I'll be there whenever you want me. I need somebody who can love me at my worst. No, I'm not perfect, but I hope you see my worth. 'Cause it's only you, nobody knew I put you first. And for you, girl, I swear I do the worst. I need somebody who can love me at my worst. No, I'm not perfect, but I hope you see my worth. 'Cause it's only you, nobody knew I put you first. And for you, girl, I swear I do the worst.
Don't cry, snowman, not in front of me. Who'll get your tears if you can't catch me, darling? If you can't catch me, darling. Don't cry, snowman, don't leave me this way. A bottle of water can't hold me close, baby. Can't hold me close, baby. I want you to know that I'm never leaving, 'cause I miss the snow till death will be freezing. Yeah, you are my home for all seasons. So come on, let's go. Let's go below zero and hide from the sun. I love you forever, oh, we'll have some fun. Yes, let's hit the North Pole and live happily. Please don't cry no tears now, it's Christmas, baby. My snowman and me. Hey. Don't cry, snowman. Don't you fear the sun? Who'll carry me without legs to run, honey? Without legs to run, honey. And don't cry, snowman. Don't you shed a tear. Oh, hear my secrets if you don't have ears, baby. If you don't have ears, baby. I want you to know that.
Iya, share screen-nya kurang jelas ya teman-teman. Maaf ya, sebentar kita sambil dibenahi dulu.
Be there whenever you want me. I need somebody who can love me at my worst. No, I'm not perfect, but I hope you see my worth. 'Cause it's only you, nobody knew I put you first. And for you, girl, I swear I do the worst. If you stay forever, let me hold your hand. I can feel those places in your heart no one else can. Let me show you love, I'll not pretend. I'll be right here, baby, you know it's sink or swim. Oh, don't you worry, I'll be there whenever you want me. I need somebody who can love me at my worst. No, I'm not perfect, but I hope you see my worth. 'Cause it's only you, nobody knew I put you first. And for you, girl, I swear I do the worst. can love me at my worst. No, I'm not perfect, but I hope you see my worth. 'Cause it's only you, nobody knew I put you first. And for you, girl, I swear I do the worst.
Don't cry, snowman, not in front of me. Who'll get your tears if you can't catch me, darling? If you can't catch me, darling. And don't cry, snowman, don't leave me this way. A bottle of water can't hold me close, baby. Can't hold me close, baby. I want you to know that I'm never leaving, 'cause I miss the snow till death will be freezing. Yeah, you are my home for all seasons. So come on, let's go. Let's go below zero and hide from the sun. I love you forever, oh, we'll have some fun. Yes, let's hit the North Pole and live happily. Please don't cry, no tears now, it's Christmas, baby. My snowman and me. My snowman and me, baby. Don't cry, snowman, don't you fear the sun. Who'll carry me without legs to run, honey? Without legs to run, honey. Don't cry, snowman, don't you shed a tear. Oh, hear my secrets if you don't have ears, baby. If you don't have ears, baby. I want you to know that I'm never leaving, 'cause I miss the snow till death will be freezing. Yeah, you are my home for all seasons. So come on, let's go. Let's go below zero and hide from the sun. I love you forever, oh, we'll have some fun. Yes, let's hit the North Pole and live happily. Please don't cry, no tears now, it's Christmas, baby. My snowman and me. My snowman and me, baby.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Webinar International. Good luck to you all of us. Assalamualaikum, Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, dan salam kebajikan. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Clara Elizabeth Lau. I will be your MC today. We thank God Almighty because over the blessing and grace we can gather at this event. And welcome and thank you I say to Miss Atika as material given to us today. Dan terima kasih juga kepada teman-teman yang sudah bergabung dan masih setia join di webinar ini dari sesi pertama sampai sesi ketiga ini. May we always be healthy. Before we enter the core of the show, I will read the agenda we have tonight. Sebelum kita memasuki acara inti, izinkan saya untuk membacakan agenda kita pada malam hari ini. First, the opening. Second is presentation of material as well as question and answer discussion. Third is closing statement. Oke, yang pertama pembukaan, yang kedua adalah pemaparan materi sekaligus diskusi tanya jawab. Ketiga yaitu penutup. Okay, now we enter the second event, namely of presentation of material as well as a question and answer, which are guided directly by Kakhida as moderator. To Kakhida, please, time is yours.
All right, hi everyone. Good evening. I'm Hidahan right here as the moderator. Tenang saja yang belum mengerti bahasa Inggris, saya di sini untuk menerjemah. So I would like to guide you guys into this international webinar by the topic Self-Development for Millennial Youth for in 4.0 era, Become a Confident Youth with the Power of Critical Thinking. Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you very much to the mistress of ceremony who allows me to take this over. And second of all, hugely thank you very much to all the participants today. You guys are awesome. Terima kasih sudah mengikuti serangkaian acara webinar ini mulai dari webinar ke-1, webinar kedua, hingga kita berada di penghujung webinar ini, webinar yang ketiga. Well, third of all, welcome to our inspiring speaker today. Hello, Miss Atika.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm great. What about there? Is it going to be okay right there?
Yes, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for giving us your precious time anyway.
It's my pleasure.
All right, so without any further ado, let's get the ball rolling. Allow me to read the CV background of our great speaker today. She is Miss Atika Loualidi. She is the CEO founder of Handy Voice. She is also joining the Space Camp Alumna Injaz Al-Maghrib, Morocco. And she is the Best Social Junior Enterprise Award of Injaz Al-Maghrib by SNCF. Well, it's really a great tech record, isn't it? Okay, so let us welcome our great speaker to Miss Atika Loualidi. The time definitely belongs to you. Miss Atika?
Yes, I forgot to turn on my mic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the presentation. How can I say hi in your language? I want to learn this one.
Oh, so it's the same anyway. Hi. Or you can say selamat
okay.
malam teman-teman. Selamat malam teman-teman.
Sorry?
Selamat. Selamat.
Selamat.
Malam.
Malam.
Teman-teman.
Teman-teman, selamat.
Iya.
Okay. Thank you very
selamat
much.
malam.
Okay. So thank you very much for the introduction and thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with you. This is actually the third, I guess, or my fourth online webinar with Indonesian organization, Indonesian people. I'm very excited and really want to visit your country, guys, one day. So as you said, Tita, I'm first a business student, majoring in marketing and sales, and I have co-founded a social company that's called Handy Voice that aims to help deaf and hard people to easily communicate with their interlocutors. And in 2016, I participated in a competition organized by the U.S. Embassy here in Morocco to go attend an intense training, just like the one the astronauts go through before going to space. So, you know, just different backgrounds. And I've also studied cinema for 1 year. So business, cinema, space, a lot of things mixed. And this is something that I'm going to talk about earlier in my presentation. So today, three important things that I'm going to talk about is critical thinking, problem solving, and the importance of self-confidence and self-esteem among youth in today's world. So first of all, I really want this online webinar to be a little bit interactive. And so if you guys have, I don't know, comments or suggestions or answers or everything you want to share, please just feel free to write on the comment section or just turn on your microphone and just ask or just tell me what you have to say. All right, so first I would just want to have from you guys, just to know from you guys, what you think critical thinking is, and what is the first that you guys think of when you hear critical thinking?
Ya, jadi teman-teman, menurut kalian nih, apa sih critical thinking itu? Gitu, boleh disampaikan pakai bahasa Indonesia, nanti saya bantu menerjemah. Gimana nih teman-teman, critical thinking, sebagai anak muda, critical thinking kan kita butuh banget nih. Nah, untuk definisinya tersendiri, menurut kalian itu bagaimana? Boleh, ayo yang mau menyampaikan pendapatnya, boleh dinyalakan speakernya.
Should I be going slowly because you're going to be translating every now and then, or?
Yeah, I guess so. So you may speak it a bit slower, but that's okay anyway.
Okay. So I have to stop every now and then, right? For you to translate?
Yeah, maybe perhaps if it is needed.
Okay. So just let me know if it's needed, then I stop. And
Okay. Oke, pertanyaan. Wait a moment. Bisa diulang kakak pertanyaannya? Oke, jadi pertanyaan dari Kak Atika ini tadi, guys. Gimana sih menurut kalian, pendapat kalian tersendiri, apa itu critical thinking? Kita anak muda, kita diwajibkan punya critical thinking. Nah, definisinya itu tersendiri. Opini kalian itu apa? Yuk, boleh disampaikan teman-teman?
I think there are some messages on the chat section.
Yeah, the chat versions. One of them said that, could you please repeat the question like that? So yeah.
And you just did, right?
Yeah, I just did it. Yeah. I just translated. You may go on anyway.
Okay, it's fine. The end of the webinar, I think you guys would have a complete answer to this question. All right. So you guys know that that we are living today in such a fast-paced world, right? And critical thinking is a skill that is highly, highly required in the world of business today. And especially, as I said, in this fast-paced world where we have a huge flow of information from different and numerous sources, and different information that we are brought to process every single day. Should I stop here so they can translate, or just go on?
Okay, so here one of them said that critical thinking here is, wait up, let me have a look. So critical thinking here is such a process of knowing ourselves about something and give it a comment. And it is for our soft skill that we have to have like that. And then another one said that critical thinking is the way how we should think in a critically, where we should actually to be thinking about everything. It's for the processing our own brain to have the evaluation for ourselves. And then the second one said that, in my opinion, critical thinking is considering the cause and also the benefits in deciding something. Ya, terima kasih nih teman-teman, keren sekali opini-opininya. Mantap. Ya.
Awesome. You guys give such great answers. I love it. All right. And so now going back, before going into details into the process of developing critical thinking skills, I mean, usually when you look for something, for example, on the internet, you can find different answers, right? Thousands and thousands of answers, and that in most cases are contradictory, right? And so you actually get lost and don't know what to believe anymore. You don't know who to believe. And this is becoming easier because now everyone can share as many information as he wants and share information between brackets, and those information can influence other people's perceptions, right? About a specific subject. And since a very young age, we actually tend to blindly consume the information of surroundings try to fit us, right? And the key word here is blindly. And this word is the enemy and the complete opposite of critical thinking. Because as you said, guys, critical thinking is a skill and it is an ability to think outside the box, right? And it's a capacity to connect the dots and think structured, an organized and logical manner. It is also thinking about thinking, all right? It is questioning what tends to be what tends to seem unquestionable, what tends to seem traditional, what tends to be normal, what to seem the norm, right? It is having this ability to question everything, every information that you have to process, right? And it's also the ability to reflect on different subjects and see them from a different angle, see them from different perceptions, see them from a more objective angle. And it's having the ability to spot the flaw and fix it. And here we have like a very, we have a strong link between critical thinking and problem solving. We're actually to becoming a problem solver, you need to have critical skills, right? And becoming a critical thinker or problem solver does not happen overnight. It's a process of a lot of consistency, a lot of practice, a lot of work, a lot of patience, a lot of discipline, and it requires practice, practice, and practice. And the first step to be more organized in your thoughts, more structured, more logical in your thinking is starting by structuring your thoughts and plan of becoming a critical thinker. You see the link? And for this, you will need to start identifying the problem first, okay? And this goes both ways in critical thinking and in problem solving abilities. You need to start defining the problem first. You need to see what others might not really see. And for this, you have to step out and just see the situation you're in from different angles and perceptions, as we said. And in any situation you face in your life, whether in your personal life or in your professional life, try to talk to yourself. Communicate with your mind, communicate with your soul, talk to yourself. People at first may think that you're crazy, but you don't have to care about to just talk to yourself. It's a very good exercise. It helps you have a clearer mind. It helps you develop clear a plan in your mind. And you have to ask yourself, what is the problem here? What can be wrong in this situation? Should I just believe this as it is? Is this the way it should be? It should really be in this situation. And believe me, finding and knowing the problem is already half the answer, right? And then you try to find solutions or answers to those problems. Try doing so by doing research, by assembling and finding as many information as you can, from different sources. Gathering data is a very important step in the process. And even those data that you gather from different sources, those sources as well, they should be questioned as well. And then when you have a sum of different data and different information, then you have to spot the similarities that you have in those data. And you spot, as we said earlier, you connect the dots and you see what seems to be logical, dependent, and based on those data you have in front of you. And then you conduct a comparative approach. And that's it. When you have a comparative approach is when you put all the data in front of you and try to spot the differences and similarities. It's just not the similarities, it's also the differences, right? And then you evaluate the data. That's a very important step. You evaluate the data depending on what you have. And then you ask yourself, are there enough proofs and evidence that will back up the data, right? And then you develop what we call assumptions or possible answers and solutions to the pre-identified problems. And you evaluate again. It's always a work of evaluation and assessment. It's very important because you're in the work and then you get out of it and you try to find different angles and different perceptions again, so that you have a broader view on the whole problem and the whole situation. And then after developing the possible answers, you evaluate them. So you evaluate their accuracy and their relevance to the core problem, right? And critical thinker. What's also interesting about this skill and having and developing it and growing it and improving it, it's not something that you some people say that you can get born with it, but I just don't feel it is the case. It's a skill that can be developed and improved over time with a lot of practice and a lot of experiences, right? And critical thinkers are highly valued and searched for by employers in today's marketplace, because it is a skill that brings in new innovations, creative ideas, new ways of thinking, and you challenge actually what naturally seems to be given, what naturally seems to be functional and traditional, and what seems to be working, right? And being a critical thinker means you're always seeking improvement, means you're always seeking development, and also means you are constantly going through a self-development journey. Why is critical thinking extremely important then? So we said it's a highly valued skill, it's highly demanded in today's marketplace, but it is also important because it affects your decisions, your everyday decisions, and thus your life. And earlier I said I saw and I read a very interesting response. It was that it is evaluating the costs and benefits of a given situation. That's a very good point and a very good definition, I would say, of critical thinking. It is this. And as I said earlier, by having a clear plan, one way to do this is having a blank sheet of paper, and then you have a table, and then you have pros and cons of a given situation. For example, this actually helps you in your decision-making process. And I remember I've done this before in a certain situation where I had to make a decision. I had like 2 high schools that I wanted to go to, right? And I didn't know which one to choose. And so I said to myself, I had a blank piece of paper and I draw a table, pros and cons of each high school, right? And gathered information, asked people. So you have the problem first, which is being able to, what is the best high school for me, for my career, for developing my competencies, my skills, etc. And the next step was gathering information data, as I said earlier, which is asking people, on the websites of both high schools, asking people who have already attended those schools, and then evaluating the data and sitting with yourself and discovering yourself and knowing your needs, knowing your goals, and then that helps you to develop that table, right? And then you evaluate, you conduct a comparative approach, as we said earlier, and then you are able to create an assumption, and then you evaluate it again, and then you come up with a solution, with a conclusion, the right choice and the right decision, right? And as we have previously mentioned, being critical thinking is going back to become an effective problem solver, which is again a very good skill. So critical thinking and problem solving are 2 major important skills that are acquired. And it is very important to be oriented towards solving problems, not just spotting them. Yes, it is very important to be able to know where the problem is, but what's also important is not just going there and be like, oh, hey, I think there's a problem. Here is a problem. But what's important is saying, that's a problem and here's a solution. It's being oriented towards problem solving. You solve the problems, not you just not spot them. Believe me, like in the business world, imagine we're working in a multinational or a company, and then you spot a problem. That's great. It's going to be appreciated. But what's going to be even more appreciated is having a solution, a plan A, a plan B, and even a plan C to solve that problem. All right. And here, as I said earlier, when you are working towards developing this skill of critical thinking, it can be also a part of your self-development journey. And I call self-development a journey or an adventure because it's a process, and this process you have to enjoy it. So many people say that to be to develop yourself, develop your skills. Do you want to say something, Kira?
Yeah, so here I would like to say what you said first. So I'm going to kind of like give a bit conclusion. Yeah. So jadi teman-teman tadi seperti yang katanya Miss Atika nih, gimana sih cara kita untuk menjadi orang yang critical thinking itu? Pertama-tama critical thinking itu didapatkan bukan hanya dalam satu malam. Tentu saja dia butuh proses yang panjang, butuh skill dalam menguatkan diri. Jadi seperti yang katanya Miss Atika tadi, pertama-tama yang harus kita sering lakukan adalah talk to yourself. Jadi kita itu harus punya dalam satu hari itu minimal kita punya me time untuk ngobrol dengan diri, terus menanyakan, berkomunikasi dengan, communicate to your mind, berkomunikasi dengan pikiran kalian. Sebenarnya untuk masalah ini tuh gimana sih cara kita dalam menanggulinya, seperti itu. Terus juga Miss Atika said that hear your heart. Jadi antara pikiran dan juga hati kita, perasaan kita harus menemukan satu kolaborasi yang bagus agar critical thinking itu juga tercipta. Lalu bagaimana sih mengasah critical thinking itu? Kita bisa dengan doing research. Kita cari info-info di artikel-artikel. Kita juga bisa banyak-banyak membaca tentang hal-hal yang sedang terjadi di saat ini. Bisa juga kita dengan baca-baca news yang beredar, atau kita juga sering bisa dapatkan dengan diskusi dengan teman. Jadi kalau umpama kalian punya pendapat sesuatu nih, nah kalian juga bisa tanya ke teman kalian, kalau menurut kamu bagaimana? Nah dari situlah nanti critical thinking itu terbangun, seperti itu. Terus untuk yang tentang problem solving, di sini Kak Atika bilang bahwasanya bagaimana sih cara kita untuk menjadikan sesuatu itu mendapatkan problem solving? Cara kita yaitu dengan spot the case, cari tahu masalahnya itu apa, seperti itu. Terus kita uraikan masalahnya itu. Bagaimana kalau umpama ini terjadi, oh solusinya ini. Kalau umpama ini terjadi, oh nanti bakal seperti ini. Kita kira-kira di sana kita spot the case, spot the masalahnya, seperti itu. Jadi yang perlu kita tanamkan dalam otak kita bukan this is the problem, tapi this is the problem and here is the solution, seperti itu. Ini masalahnya, ini dia solusinya, seperti itu teman-teman. Iya. You may go on anyway, Miss Atika.
Thank you.
Iya.
I always forget to turn on my mic. I'm sorry. I'm so nice to this.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. Okay, so we said, was saying that developing your skill of critical thinking is also a part of your self-development journey. And as I said, I prefer to call it an adventure or a journey because it's a whole process. You go through a lot of steps. And, a lot of people say that at the end of your self-development journey, you are going to be happy. You are going to be fulfilled. All right, yeah, cool. I am that's the main objective. But what's
Miss Atika? Miss Atika, I think your connection is connecting. We couldn't hear any voice. Iya, sebentar ya teman-teman, karena sinyalnya jauh. Iya, oke. So
can you still hear me?
Yeah, it was reconnecting. We couldn't hear any voice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Iya.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's kind of a bit.
Hold on, let me check my. Okay.
Yeah, please. Could you please say a bit, because I want to see the connection. Okay, now it's running well.
It's running well? Okay, cool. I hope it will not go. Okay. Because what was the last thing you guys heard?
It was about self-development as a critical thinker.
Yes. So what I said is the importance of enjoying the process of developing, of the journey of self-development. It is very important to enjoy every step of the process, because always having happiness as an end result, always doing whatever it is that you're doing just to be happy at the end, it's not very effective. You know, you got to enjoy your life and the process. And it is so the self-development journey or process is a process where you grow as a person, you improve your competencies and abilities, you discover yourself, you set objectives, you set your results, and where you develop interpersonal and intrapersonal skills. And the difference between these two terms, interpersonal skills and interpersonal skills, is that I guess some of you or you know this, but interpersonal skills is the relationship with other people, with your surroundings. It's the ability to improve your people skills. It's learning how to work in a team. It's how to communicate with others. It's how to be an effective leader or manage people. And intrapersonal skills, or we call it sometimes the personal effectiveness, is your relationship with yourself. It's your ability to know yourself. It's to sit with yourself and know your needs, your desires, your goals, etc. It is when you know your weaknesses and strengths and try to turn them all into your advantage. And here we talk about SWOT analysis. If some of you here have a business background, I'm sure you have already heard about SWOT analysis. It's something that we usually use in business, but it also can be applied into your personal life. So the SWOT analysis is like let's call it a chart, right? Where you have, so the S stands for strengths, the W stands for weaknesses, O for opportunities, and T for threats. So we usually do this for businesses. So we have the two first are external and two letters are internal, and then you can do this for yourself as well in your personal life. So you ask yourself, what are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? What are my opportunities? And what are the threats that I have? And here you try to be as honest as it is possible with yourself, because you're dealing with yourself, so you got to be honest so you can improve yourself, right? And the very first step in the self-development process is that intrapersonal aspect. The intrapersonal aspect, it's the relationship with yourself, it's discovering yourself. It is what we call self-awareness. This is, as I said earlier, it's knowing who you are, your core values, your principles, your beliefs, and the person you would like to become in the future. And here, I would ask you guys, I don't know if you guys do this, but if you don't, please do it. You gotta try it. It's a very good exercise. So you sit with yourself and you try to imagine the person you would like to become in the future, her lifestyle, what she does on a daily basis, the person you want to become in the future. When she wakes up in the morning, she does this and this, and then she does this and this in the afternoon, in the evening. Just an example of a typical day, the future person you would like to become. It's very important to know what you want. It's a very important step. You cannot deal with others. You cannot know what others need if you don't know what you need, right? And here we're going to talk afterwards in the interpersonal skills with others about emotional intelligence and how important it is to be emotionally intelligent and how it is important to develop your emotional intelligence skills. But once you sit with yourself and know who you are, you can go through an evaluation. You assess your current abilities, your current competencies, your current talents, and you get a deeper understanding of your weaknesses and of your needs and what you have to do in order to become the person you previously visualized, right? The competencies you needed. And once you set goals to be reached, you develop a plan. And here we go back again to the competence of critical thinking and having a structured and logical manner and way of thinking. So when you develop a plan to follow, you have to follow it. You have to stick to it in order to achieve your goals, right? And then a key element comes here. Two words that I love and that I always try to keep in my mind these words are key, are extremely key in whatever you do in your life. I believe it. I believe so. It's discipline and consistency. Discipline and consistency. And actually, discipline leads to consistency.
Iya.
Achieving your goals, action be done once. Of repeated action of
Miss Atika, it's your connection connecting again. We couldn't hear any voice anyway.
and then
Your connection is connecting, Miss Atika. Oke, sambil nunggu Miss Atika, teman-teman kedengaran nggak Miss Atikanya? Lagi ini ya, buffering ya itu Miss Atikanya?
can you hear me now? I've just changed the Wi-Fi.
Okay,
Can you hear me
so it's clear now, but wait, could you please give a bit time to me? So I would like to translate what you said.
Yes, sure. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Oke, jadi seperti yang Miss Atika bilang tadi, guys, enjoy every step in your process. Jadi dalam proses yang panjang seperti itu, kita harus live the present. Kita harus hidup di masa ini, bukan hanya memusingkan masa depan bagaimana, juga menyesali masa lalu, tapi kita harus live the present. Kita harus yang masa lalu kita jadikan evaluasi, yang masa depan kita pikirkan tapi dengan aksi seperti itu. Juga Miss Atika tadi bilang bahwasannya kita itu sebagai manusia butuh yang namanya interpersonal sama intrapersonal, which is kita sebagai makhluk hidup bukan hanya dengan surroundings kita, bukan hanya dengan lingkungan orang-orang kita yang harus kita punya skill yang bagus untuk bersosialisasi dan lain-lain, tetapi kita juga punya hubungan baik nih dengan diri kita. Jadi kita harus mempunyai ability to know your desire. Kita harus tahu keinginan kita untuk saat ini tuh apa. Kita set the goal, kita harus memupukkan diri untuk mengetahui apa-apa yang harus kita capai. Kita juga harus mengetahui apa yang kita inginkan. Contoh untuk tadi Miss Atika sempat bilang sekolah, mau sekolah di mana, nanti ke depannya bagaimana. Nah, itu juga harus kita rencanakan. Tapi bukan hanya untuk menjadi orang yang overthinking, karena kita lebih ke menyusun aksi, menyusun planning di sana, seperti itu. Miss Atika juga sempat bilang bahwasannya untuk mencapai itu semua, kita harus punya 2 kata ajaib. Apa saja itu? Disiplin dan konsisten. Jadi melalui 2 kata ini, kita bisa mencapai segala hal, menjadi anak muda yang punya great self-development, seperti itu. Oke, Miss Atika, you may go on.
Thank you. I did not forget to turn on my mic this time. I'm learning. Thank you very much. All right. So we talked about discipline and consistency, the difference of these 2 terms in the self-development process, and of the importance of not losing sight of your goals. And then once you have some results, you assess to take corrective action.
Miss Atika, it's kind of like reconnecting again and again. Iya, sambil nunggu Miss Atika ya teman-teman. Iya, sedang putus-putus Miss Atika. Miss Atika. Ya, jadi sambil nunggu Miss Atika, nih teman-teman kalau umpama ada yang mau disampaikan, mau bertanya, atau mau menyampaikan pendapat tentang critical thinking, tentang self-development, tentang problem solving, itu boleh ditanyakan di kolom box nanti waktu saya buka Q&A ya. Sambil nunggu Kak Atika, kita nih boleh sharing-sharing. Mana Miss Atikanya ya? Boleh nih sharing-sharing tentang how to be a great millennial youth. Pasti banyak yang sedang melampaui umur-umur rawan ya. Banyak yang sedang banyak kita pikirkan, kita cemaskan, dan lain-lain. Okay, Miss Atika.
Hi, can you hear me now? Sorry, I just
Yeah,
had a problem with the Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on. Sorry.
yeah, that's okay. Now it's clear. It's totally clear. You may go on.
Okay, thank you. All right, so again, we talked about discipline and consistency, and yeah, and then I'm talking about the importance of evaluation of why is it important to always assess your results. Once you've got some results in front of you, you have to evaluate them, because the evaluation, when you evaluate, it means you compare your current results with the pre-established objectives. So you set objectives first as the very first thing. When you have a plan, you set objective, right? And then once you work and you compose those objectives, and you have like these steps, small steps to follow, and then you follow them while keeping the discipline and consistency, you get some results. And those results, you got to evaluate them. And the evaluation, as I said earlier, is comparing the results, the current results, with the pre-established objectives, right? And then when you evaluate, it's very important because it allows you to take corrective actions when needed. It helps you to pause for a second and question again. So here again, the critical thinking, the most important part of critical thinking is questioning. So you question again what's going well and what is not, right? And then so you either change a little bit of your strategy or you completely change it. It depends on the results that you get, right? And in the process of self-development, you will need what we call self-confidence, right? That's a very important I'm not going to call it a skill, but it's a very important behavior actually to have in the process and everything you do in your life. And that's a problem that many young people face today, is the lack of self-confidence. And some of them, some young people, they just don't understand the importance of self-confidence. Being a confident individual opens up many, many, many doors for you. And it helps you, if you're not confident, you're actually neglecting many competencies and a huge potential that you have, and you just neglect it and act as if you don't have it just because you lack self-confidence. So it is very important to develop this pattern of behavior. It is something that can be developed with time, with experiences and everything. And it's something that everyone should work on and foster. And no worries at all. As I said, it's something that can be developed. It is something that can be improved with time. And the first thing to do is to go out of your comfort zone. I know the comfort zone is such a beautiful place, but going out and discover what's outside of your little box and your little bubble is even better and bigger and more beautiful. And the first thing also is to defy your fears and do what makes you feel afraid, right? Sometimes you don't do something because you think you're not able to do it. And here, like, we all have a voice down deep inside of us that tells us that we can't do something, right? It's kind of a self-destruction. But once you neglect that voice inside of you, decide to go against it and say no to that voice, you will discover huge potential that you have. And here I would like to tell you a story that happened to me before, like back 2015. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's quite well already.
Okay, thank you. So it's something that happened in 2015 and 2016. So when I saw the announcement of the competition that is organized by the US Embassy, so I knew that the winners would go to the US and to go through a training of astronauts and stuff. And I was, at the time, was just 15 or 16 years old. I was like, hold on, me at 15 years old go to the United States alone and without my parents, and go through an astronaut's training? How is that even possible? No, I can't do this. No, I'm not gonna do this. And so indeed I did not participate. I did not participate just because I had a huge lack of confidence. And when I saw the winner who went to camp and they went through a beautiful experience, it's like, oh my goodness, what did I miss? I missed this opportunity. Why did I do this? And then I was like, listen, next year if they announce a new edition, I'm definitely going to participate. And that's actually what happened. I was like, I'm just going to give it a try. If I won, that's perfect. If I did not, I would not say it's completely fine, but I'll just say to myself that I tried. At least I tried and I did something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what happened in 2016. I participated. I prepared the video. I prepared the answers to the questions, to the form, etc. And I went through a very thorough process of votes, of answers, of recording videos, went through an interview. It was a very long process. And at the end of it, alhamdulillah, thank God I made it and I went there. So what's very important is to give it a try. Just try and defy your fears. Do what makes you feel afraid. That's a very important step of developing self-confidence. And then once you do a lot of beautiful things, once you get out of your comfort zone, once you have like great results of what you're capable to do, then you always keep an agenda maybe, or a blank piece of paper again, and you note and you write down all the accomplishments that you've done, all of your achievements. And whenever you feel down, whenever you feel like you're not good enough, go back to that piece of paper so that you're reminded of all the beautiful that you're capable of, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, could you please give
yeah,
us
you can go on to translate. Yes.
Iya. Oke,
Go
jadi
on.
teman-teman seperti yang kata Miss Atika tadi nih, dalam proses yang panjang seperti itu, kita harus punya self-evaluation. Jadi kita harus mengevaluasi diri kita, mengcompare, kita bandingkan dengan masalah kita dengan hasil kita berada di masa lalu itu seperti apa, kita bandingkan dengan saat ini apa, which is itu bisa membantu banget buat kita mempunyai self development. Oh, kemarin nih saya ternyata kurang dalam hal ini, maka hari ini saya akan perbaiki. Gak harus langsung jerat, langsung bisa, langsung no, it's just enjoying the process, live the present gitu. Terus juga tadi Miss Atika sempat bilang bahwasanya kita harus sering-sering yang namanya questioning yourself, tanya ke diri kita, apa sih yang membuat kita seperti ini, itu kenapa, seperti itu. Dan juga Miss Atika tadi sempat membahas tentang self-confident, bahwasanya kita anak-anak milenial sering sekali kita kekurangan rasa percaya diri, belum memulai, belum mencoba, tapi sudah ketakutan dengan diri sendiri. Nah, bagaimana dengan cara kita menyelesaikan masalah seperti itu? Yang pertama adalah dobrak diri, go out from your comfort zone, keluar dari zona nyaman itu. Kita ambil take the chance, kita ambil kesempatannya, kita ambil resikonya, seperti itu. Be the adventurer, seperti itu teman-teman. Ambil challenge-nya, ambil juga resikonya, ambil juga chance-nya, kesempatannya gitu. Terus nih, Miss Atika tadi sempat cerita bahwasanya dulu waktu beliaunya umur 15 atau 16 tahun, beliau seharusnya diikutkan dengan acara international competition, tetapi di saat itu karena rasa takutnya yang terlalu dalam, yang nggak mau memulai, yang nanti takut kalah, nanti takut nggak pede, nanti takut, akhirnya she misses the chance. Akhirnya dia kehilangan kesempatannya, which is sebenarnya kita harus mengambil kesempatan itu, apapun resikonya, apapun ke depannya, kita ambil saja seperti itu. Nanti waktu umpama kita menang, itu buat kita bahagia, buat kita giving such a pleasure for us. Tapi kalau umpama itu mendapatkan kekalahan, ya kita bisa mengambil hikmah dari sana, kita bisa menjadi orang yang lebih wise, kita tahu bahwasanya dalam setiap competition itu ada yang kalah, ada yang menang, seperti itu. Terus Miss Atika juga sempat bilang bahwasanya all the achievement we should write it down on a piece of paper. Jadi kalau umpama kita sudah melakukan hal baik atau kita sudah berprestasi dalam satu bidang, dalam hal-hal yang bagus dari kita di masa lampau, kita tulis tuh di kertas atau di buku jurnal kita. Kita tulis kita sudah apa saja, kita sudah memperbaiki hal-hal yang kurang apa saja, kita sudah berprestasi apa di akademik kita, di segala hal yang intrapersonal dan interpersonal kita tulis di sana. Jadi waktu kita lagi sedih, kita lagi in a down situation, kita lagi low energy, kita ambil buku kita baca, pasti di situ membawa energi-energi positif yang bisa buat kita bangkit semangat lagi. Seperti itu, teman-teman. Ya, bisa Tika.
Thank you very much, Shita. And so I was saying, yeah, you mentioned again the getting out of the comfort zone. I would like to go back at it because it's really easy. It's very, very important, and you cannot expect to grow. You cannot expect to learn. You cannot expect to do anything with your life if you do not get yourself out there. If you do not, learn, grow, work with others, show your competencies, show the people what you can do. That's how you can actually get opportunities. If you are out there, between brackets, sell yourself, sell your competencies, and show to the world where you're capable of, then you can get opportunities. And once you get those opportunities, you should seize them, as you said. I could spot that you said seize opportunities and take the chance, right? And yeah, it's we are. I think everyone here are young people, right?
Yeah,
we're all young, and it's not about the age, but we are young, right? And we always try to tell to my classmates and my teammates and people sort of around me, I always tell them, take full advantage of your youth. While you're still young, you have time, you have energy, you have a great competency and a great ability to learn new things. So try to invest your time accordingly. Time management is very important, and making the most out of your time is very important as well. Do not waste it doing nothing, just scrolling social media every night, the whole day. You can do this, but have a specific time for yourself where you can develop yourself, go out there and attend social events, attend meetings, attend whatever, and work on projects and stuff. And here in the process of self-development, of gaining self-confidence, and doing all of the ways that can allow you to develop your self-confidence that I've previously talked about, you're going to hear a lot of negative comments, a lot of destructive criticism from your surrounding. A lot of people will try to crack you down and just destroy you. This is very expect this. It's very normal. It is everywhere you go. But believe me, you should not listen to those voices. You should not listen to the voice that is inside of you that tells you that you're not good enough. I'm going to talk about this a little bit afterwards. And do not listen to the voice of people who try to destroy you. And here I'd like to give an example that happened to me when I was in high school. In high school, it was I created a cinema club in my high school. I was very passionate about theater, cinema, and I wanted to work on a movie. At the same time, I wanted to take part of Injaz Al-Maghrib that you talked about earlier, Hida. So just for a little bit of context, Injaz Al-Maghrib is an association that can you hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of a bit reconnecting. Now we couldn't hear you any voice. Could you please a bit saying again? Okay, now, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said when I was in high school, I wanted to create that club of cinema and wanted to work in a movie. And working in a movie, writing it, shooting the movie, working on the editing, it still takes a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
And I also wanted to take part of Injaz Al-Maghrib, as you said earlier, the alumna of that program, which, just for a little bit of context, is an association that helps students to create their own companies. And it was, I was in high school, I didn't know anything about companies, I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship, and I wanted to go through that experience and discover that world. And then some team members that I had with me in the Club of Cinema, when they knew that I wanted to join that program of entrepreneurship, they were like, what are you? Do you want to do everything? Just focus on one thing. You're already doing a lot of projects. You're already studying. You already have a national exam coming up in a few months. And what? You want to do entrepreneurship as well? You want to develop a project as well? Oh, come on. Be realistic a little bit. And I was like, oh my God, are they right? Should I really just do one thing and just commit myself into one thing? And then I said again with myself, and that's again talking to yourself. I always do this. I just in front of the mirror and just start talking to myself. People think I'm crazy, but I don't care. And then I was like, should I really do this? And then I just did not listen to them. I was like, they're not going to decide my life. They're not going to decide my future. They're not going to tell me what to do or not to do. It's my life. This is my career, and I am the one who's going to decide, right? So I decided to study, shoot the movie, work on the movie for the whole year, and take part of that entrepreneurship program. I did it all, and you guys can watch the movie on YouTube. It's on YouTube already, and I took part of the program.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and we won the regional and national and international prize in that competition. So this is just to tell you that people are going to be there adapting your skills, adapting your competency, telling you that you're not good enough, that you can't do it all, that you should just focus on one thing. But this is not true. And this is something that I wanted to talk about earlier, is that when I was in high school, I studied physics and chemistry. And then 1 year after my high school degree, I studied cinema for 1 year. And then now I switched to business. So like different backgrounds.
Yeah.
and I'm very passionate about a lot of things. I wanted to try a lot of things. And my parents, my friends, and everyone, they're like, no, you have to focus on one thing. Yes, this is very important. I'm not telling you that you should do a lot of things at once. It's very important to be an expert in one field. But if you love a lot of things, if you are passionate about a lot of things, if you enjoy doing a lot of things, do it all. You can do it all, and just do not allow any single soul in the world to tell you otherwise, because they're not you and you are not them. They cannot decide your future for you. They cannot say what you can do and what you cannot do, right? Just do it all, but as long as you stay organized, as long as you manage your time effectively, as long as you have a clear plan that you stick to it, as long as you are disciplined, as well as you are committed, as well as you are consistent with your goals, as long as you know yourself, as long as you know what you do in the future, right? And knowing what you want to do in the future is going through a lot of experiences, right? Is going through a lot of things. Is going out there and trying new things, right? And so, yeah, again and again, please do not listen to what others might tell you. Do not listen to what others have to say. Till today, I still receive those destructive criticism and people telling me just focus on one thing, and I really don't care about them. Their words, they enter from here and they just go from there. I just don't listen to them, and it's very effective. Please do the same with people surrounding you. There are some constructive criticism, people telling you, yeah, what you're doing is great. Here's what you can do to improve yourself, for example, or you can change this to this. This is constructive criticism, but listen to it and take into consideration their opinion when it's constructive, when it's helping you improve. But when it's not helping you improve yourself, just don't listen to them. Okay, I think you can go and translate what I've just said, so I can
Yeah. Jadi seperti yang teman-teman dengar tadi, Miss Atika bilang bahwasannya komen-komentar negatif itu pasti ada dua sisi. Yang pertama dari diri kita sendiri nih, kita pasti mendengar ada nyawa-nyawa kecil gitu ya di diri kita yang menyatakan tentang bahwasannya kamu tuh seperti ini, kamu tuh masih kurang ini. Dan it's kind of like a self-destruction. Terus yang kedua ada komentar-komentar negatif dari surroundings, dari teman-teman, dari sekitar-sekitar, dari ya teman-teman atau mungkin tangga dan lain-lain. Jadi yang Miss Atika bilang sampaikan adalah jangan pernah dengarkan itu tapi tanamkan diri kita. Kita yang punya handle untuk diri kita sendiri gitu. Ketika ada bisikan-bisikan yang kurang mengenakkan hati, yang malah membuat kita kurang percaya diri, yang membuat kita jadi down dan lain-lain, kita yang harus tanamkan, kita yang mendobrak itu semua. Tidak, aku tidak seperti ini. Seperti itu, teman-teman. Terus tadi sedikit Miss Atika cerita bahwasanya dulu nih waktu beliau masih sekolah, jadi dia tuh bukan hanya sekolah, tapi dia juga mengikuti organisasi drama seperti itu. Di mana dia sudah sekolah, sudah ikut organisasi drama dan jadi ikut acara yang sudah ditayangkan di YouTube dan bisa kita lihat nanti ya, kita minta. Dia juga mengikuti kelas bisnis, dia juga menjalankan sebuah bisnis, dia mempelajari banyak hal. Jadi kalau umpama kita memang punya minat dalam banyak hal, ya do it. Gak usah dengerin kata orang yang kamu itu harusnya expert dalam satu bidang, bukan semua bidang seperti itu. Iya, baik, expert dalam satu bidang, tetapi ketika kita menyukai banyak bidang, ya why not to go that? Gitu. Terus Miss Atika juga sempat mengingatkan bahwasanya kita boleh nih ikut mengikuti bidang A, B, C, D, E, as long as kita harus stay organized. Kita tahu nih managing time kita tahu kita konsekuensinya bagaimana. Nah, seperti itu teman-teman. Jadi yang bisa kita garis bawahi di sini adalah dua hal itu tadi. Kita nggak boleh dengerin hati kita yang biasanya membisikkan kata-kata negatif, juga nggak usah dengerin sekitar kita yang membisikkan juga kata-kata negatif, gitu. Ya, Zatika.
Thank you. And so when we're talking about self-confidence, there's actually a concept or a mental state, which is the great enemy of self-confidence. I don't know if you guys have heard of it before. It's called the imposter syndrome. So the imposter syndrome is actually a state of mind where you always doubt yourself, where you always think that you're not good enough, where you always tend to think that anything that you achieve in your life is just luck. It's not because you're talented, it's not because you're good, it's just because you're lucky. And some scientific research have found that women suffer from this more than men, especially in the work environment. For example, a person with imposter syndrome, just imagine a scene, they're in their office working, and then really they doubt themselves to the point that they feel that at any given moment their manager would come in the door to the room and tell them, you're the worst employee we've ever had, you need to go, you need to go, you're not good, you should not stay here, you should not be with us. They always live in that constant fear that they're not good enough. And so it's also that voice that I talked about earlier that we had with us, right? It's that imposter syndrome, and we are all, the most famous and most successful people in the world said that they actually suffered from this. So if you suffer from this, do not tell yourself you're not good enough. It's a proof that you are evaluating your achievements, that you are self-reflecting, right? And it seems like a negative thing, but you have to spot the positive in it. You have to turn it into a positive thing. You have to tell yourself that no, I am good enough. These are the evidence. These are the proofs that I am good enough. And here we talk about the importance of positive self-talk. Positive self-talk. As I said earlier, it's very important to talk to yourself, but not just talk to yourself randomly. We should really pay attention to what we tell to our brains. Our brains are very, very, very powerful. And what we say, what we tell, the messages that we send to our brain are very important because they interpret those messages in a way that orient our reactions, our actions. And so we have to be very careful to what we say to our mind, right? And developing our mindset and turning our mindset to be more open, more, oriented towards critical thinking. It's very important. And so we have to pay attention to what we say to ourselves, right? And it is very important to be positive and optimistic. A lot of people say, "Oh, come on, do you think that you're living in a perfect world?" No, our world is full of flaws, full of problems and issues. But yes, it is important to be realistic, but what's also important is to be optimistic. Imagine living in a world where you think that things can never get better, that you can never improve yourself, that you can never find that opportunity that's change your life. That's going to affect your state of mind. That's going to affect your productivity. That's going to affect your mindset. It's going to affect a lot of things. And, paying attention to your mental health, paying attention to what you say to yourself, paying attention to what you do and say and feel is very important because as it affects your decisions, it affects your life, and it also affects your physical state, right? Your body, our body and soul are very, very connected. And so, yeah, all of these can also improve our self-esteem. Self-esteem also is very, very important. It's also a result of self-confidence. It's a result of everything that you do, all the actions and all the achievements that you've done so far. And it's very important to nurture it and to foster it in yourself and try to spread it to others around you. And when you're positive, you also positively impact the people who are around you. And you foster a very positive environment and you become happier, you become more fulfilled. And when you are in a very positive state of mind, this actually improves and increases your productivity, and thus helps you achieve the objectives that you have previously established and that you have previously set in your plan that was focused and based on critical thinking and problem solving, right? When you think of it for a second, it's all connected, it's all linked to each other, and once you develop one skill, the other skill becomes easier to develop, and the ball keeps rolling. And I would like to give you a quick example that's gonna finish my presentation. It's the public speaking. Confidence plays a major role in public speaking, and from experience, from a lot of team members that I work with, have a huge fear of public speaking. They just can't go there and talk to thousands and thousands of people and get there on the scene and talk to them. But once they find the right environment, once they tell themselves, okay, so what's the worst case scenario? What are the disadvantages of not doing that thing, rather than what are the advantages of doing that thing, rather than what are the disadvantages? You see what I mean? Like being oriented towards the benefits, being oriented towards the positive side of things. And then once they go there for the first time is always hard, just to tell you. But once you do this for the second time, third time, it becomes an addiction. You love it, right? And so it's also with practice and consistency that we've talked about earlier. And one example here is the scuba diving. It's an activity that we had at Space Camp, the camp in the US. And when I went there, I was like, no, I cannot do this. And when they said why, I was like, no, it's because I have primary respiratory system, which was the case actually, but it was more because I was afraid, not just because of the respiratory system. And then 4 years later, I had a chance to do this in my hometown as an activity at summer. And then I'm like, okay, should I do it? Should I not do it? What's the worst case scenario? Are the things I am missing worse than the things I am not missing? You see what I mean? And then I did it. I felt, I just was like, let's give it a try. I'm going back to the importance of trying. Just try, take risks. But risks sometimes need to be calculated, not just throw yourself into the water. They need to be calculated. And then I went there and I loved the experience. It was like, oh my God, I was missing a lot of fun time. I was missing a lot of beautiful things. So if I did not try this, I would have missed a lot of things. And so you cannot imagine the things that you're missing just because you're afraid to do something, just because you lack self-esteem, just because you lack self-confidence. So just go there and do it. And, when I met an astronaut when I was in the camp, and she said one thing really stuck into in my mind is, if I can do it, you can do it too. There's nothing impossible. So this might just seem like a very typical motivational speech from a very random person, but believe me, what I'm saying right now and the state of your mind and your mindset are very important, because they really impact and affect your actions and your reactions to situations. So please do not forget to get out there, get out of your comfort zone, listen to destructive criticism and that's surrounding you. Grow, live experiences, go through experiences, so that you can develop your self-confidence, your self-esteem, your critical thinking, your problem-solving abilities, and you're gonna excel in your personal and professional life. Thank you very much. And if you have questions, I'll be here for a few minutes for the questions and answers. And if you got more questions, you can just share. I'm gonna share with you in the section, in the chat section, my email. You can send me anything that you want to know, or anything that you want to say, or a question or everything. And please feel free to email me whenever you want.
Wow,
thank you.
It's really inspiring explanation, Miss Atika. Thank you so much for encouraging us. That's really helping us a lot. Well, jadi teman-teman, yang terakhir Miss Atika bilang bahwasannya kita terkadang punya yang namanya mental state, kita punya sesuatu yang dinamakan dengan imposter syndrome, which is dimana kita lagi suffer nih, kita lagi kesusahan, kita lagi kurang energi, kita lagi sangat-sangat berada di zona tidak aman kita gitu ya, kita nggak ada teman buat sharing dan lain-lain. Maka hal yang perlu kita lakukan adalah take a break, istirahat, ambil nafas banyak-banyak, lakukan sesuatu yang membuat kamu jadi tenang, jadi nyaman, seperti itu. Terus kita juga harus ambil spot the positivity, seperti itu. Dan juga ketika kita merasa I'm not good enough, no, stop it. Kita harus menanamkan diri kita bahwasanya I am good enough, seperti itu. Kita percaya bahwasanya kita itu good enough. Everyone has their own positive thing to do. Everyone has their own great skill. Tapi bedanya adalah satunya sudah mengetahui skillnya bagus di sini, satunya belum mengetahui. It's just a process of a time, right? Jadi juga Miss Atika tadi sempat bilang bahwasanya when you're positive, ketika kalian tuh banyak energi bagusnya, energi baiknya, maka itu akan berdampak kepada sekitaran kalian. Kalian membawa energi bagus, yang teman-teman kalian atau orang-orang yang berada di sekitar kalian juga akan merasakannya, seperti itu. Jadi sesuatu baik itu bermula dari diri kita sendiri, seperti itu teman-teman. So here what I want to give a conclusion is that every experience shape you into something. So never miss the chance and give us positive talk daily, regularly, and it could make you happier and more fulfilled. So, all right, we go on to the continuing agenda, that is Q&A. Well, I would like to have you guys the information that it's going to be two options. You may ask the question in direct speaking to Miss Atika by raise your hand and open your microphone. Or you may also comment down below on the comment box right there. Jadi teman-teman ada dua cara buat mau bertanya. Kalian boleh nanya langsung dengan open mikrofon kalian, boleh langsung ngomong bahasa Inggris atau bahasa Indonesia, boleh. Nanti saya bantu terjemah biar bisa ngobrol sama Miss Atikanya nih, kapan lagi ya kan? Atau kalau umpama nggak pengen open mikrofon, bisa juga dengan komen di komen box di sampingnya. Yuk, boleh. Siapa aja yang mau tanya tentang hal-hal yang sedang dilalui, tentang hal-hal yang sedang kalian pusingkan, atau bagaimana menanamkan hal-hal bagus untuk diri kita, boleh di-share ke kita. Boleh nih teman-teman nih. Yang mau nanya, yang mau konsultasi, yang mau curhat, boleh. Pakai bahasa Inggris boleh, pakai bahasa Indonesia boleh. Okay, Miss Atika, so here I got a question from the participants. She said that this is from Elisa Hairani. Hi, Elisa. Thank you for questioning us. This one is, I want to ask something, how to get a critical thinking and what happened about the critical thinking. Have you ever felt that? So how are you doing to finally your problems with the critical thinking about something? So, Ms. Atika, let me have a conclusion of this question is that Miss Elisa right here want to ask about how to get a critical thinking and how to figure it out. And after that, what happened about the critical thinking? After we have a good critical thinking, what's next then? Like that. Miss Atika, do you hear me anyway?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, that's a very good question. I actually gave you earlier an example of when I had to use critical thinking to make a decision. And actually, there are many ways that you can use to nurture or better your critical thinking skills. It's not gonna happen, as I said earlier. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's a lot of practice. It's a lot of exercises. It's a lot of as I said earlier, consistency, right? And once you face a situation, a certain situation that's a little bit odd, that's a little bit new, that's a situation where you have to make a decision at the end, you have to understand the different points that are related to that specific subject. You have to understand the links that there are between the different points of that subject. You have to develop some arguments. You have to get a good knowledge of the problem. You have to get a good knowledge of the situation in front of you. Once you master the subject, once you identify the problem, once you identify the issue, once you master that issue, you can spot the flaws, you can spot the problems, you can spot what's not going right, and then you develop that competency of finding the appropriate solution, as I said, and it's also very specific to each situation. There's not a common or a magical formula or a magical recipe that you can apply. It's, we give some general guidelines, but at the end of the day, it really depends on the situation that you're talking about. And as I said, at first you might not get it right. You might not find or take the right decision. But with time, with experience, with making exercise in your mind, systematic exercise, you are going to be able to finally find the appropriate solution. As I said earlier, one of the most important parts is questioning. It's always asking questions. You just do not blindly just absorb whatever information we give you, right? It's always asking questions, and it's also always adapting the information that we give you. I don't know if that answers your question, because it's these are like some general guidelines that really can be applied to every situation you might face. So Elisa, that was a question of Elisa, right? I hope I answered your question, Elisa. Please tell me if it's still blurry, or if you want more specifications.
Ya, baik. Jadi Miss Elisa, oke, thank you Miss. She said, ya, jadi kata Miss Atika sudah bisa dipahami ya, Miss Elisa. Bahwasanya kita harus punya lots of practice. Kita juga harus punya banyak-banyak bertanya pada diri sendiri, bertanya kepada opini orang-orang lain. Jadi kita bukan cuma punya satu perspektif, tapi kita punya banyak perspektif. Dari situlah kita lebih menjadi orang yang berwawasan, dan juga bisa menjadi orang yang lebih bijak, orang yang juga lebih mengetahui bahwasanya banyak orang, banyak pemikiran, banyak perbedaan juga. Tapi disitulah indahnya hidup, bukan? Ya, so ada banyak pertanyaan nih. Kok semuanya cuman di chat doang? Boleh dong sambil ngobrol sama Miss Atikanya. Teman-teman, siapa yang mau tanya ke Miss Atika, boleh langsung bertanya dengan cara raise your hand. Itu ada icon di sana, raise your hand. Habis itu nanti panitia kami akan open microphone-nya. Siapa nih mau yang bertanya nih?
There was a question from Ramdani Asli Hayati, right?
Yeah. There are lots of questions right there. Oh, they're so enthusiastic to you.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll try to answer briefly each of your answers.
Do you want to choose
I'll do my
or
best.
let me choose it?
Sorry.
So you want to choose by your own to the questions right there?
No, you're fine. This is just an answer, a question that grabbed my attention, because it's mentioned in a very important concept, which is conflict resolution. It talks about having many critical thinkers inside a certain team. And my point is, how do we respond to this so that we can reach a mutual agreement without any disputes? Usually there are some people who feel selfish about something. That is correct. And working with other people in a team is very, very challenging, because there's a lot of people who have different perceptions, who have different opinions, who have different ways of thinking, who have different mindsets. And so there tend to be some conflict. So how do we respond to this? This is like a whole topic about problem solving, or not problem. It's conflict resolution. Sorry, it's conflict resolution. So conflicts, they go through different steps. We've got the Latin step, we've got the Latin stage, we've got a lot of stages. And so first, the problem, it's there, it exists, but people don't know about it. And then little by little, you start to understand, you start to spot, you start to understand that there's a problem. And then you either the most important element here is communication. Communication is key. You need to communicate with your team members, because if you know that there's a problem and you don't do anything about that problem, if you know that you have different opinions and you don't try to explain to yourself your different points of view and why you have those differences in points of views, the problem is going to get bigger and bigger, and the dispute is never going to end. So it's very important to communicate with your team members. It's very important to know what's not going well, right? And sometimes your team members and you have the same objective, you have the same way of thinking. It's just the way you express yourself that is different, and you think that you're not on the same wavelength. And so it's very important, as I said, to communicate with them. Communication is really, really, really key. And you do this, again, by structuring your thoughts and having a clear plan. I'll always...
Okay.
Sorry?
Yeah, okay.
I'll always go back to to having a clear plan, a structured plan. It's very important. In anything you do in your life, structuring your plan is very, very important. As I said earlier, it's also, you can do this as well in time management. For example, today I'm working on many projects and studying at a university and taking part of different events. What really helps me is having a clear calendar, is having a clear sheet where I know what to do each day. I know what I have to do this today, tomorrow, after tomorrow. The day is also organized, a little time for my family, for myself, for my studies, for my projects, is always staying organized and unstructured. And so, yeah, going back to your question is communication. You have to communicate and develop that openness and respect other people's opinions. You respect their opinion and you ask them to respect yours as well, right? Because having differences in your opinions is not a negative thing. No, it's a positive thing. It just tells you that, you know, the conversation is getting richer and you have many points of views that may actually help you to advance your project and your work.
Iya, seperti itu. Jadi jawabannya ketika sedang berada di diskusi, terus banyak yang recall thinking dan banyak kompleks di sana opininya, maka yang perlu kita lakukan adalah komunikasi. Begitu kata Miss Atika tadi. Okay, well, Miss Atika, here there is a audience that want to ask you in direct. Hello, Miss Aulia Rahma. Yeah, you may have the time to give the question to Miss Atika in direct.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry nih Kak, sebelumnya boleh lewat bahasa Indonesia saja?
Iya, nggak apa-apa.
Nanti Kak Hida sampaikan. Saya ingin bertanya, halo, saya Aulia. Saya ingin bertanya kepada Miss Atika, apa sih dorongan, inspirasi atau sumber semangat terbesar Kak Atika untuk menjalankan impian satu-satu dan bisa menjadikan nyata mimpi-mimpi tersebut dengan baik, memanage satu-satu untuk bisa direalistiskan di kehidupan yang sekarang dan bisa sukses menjadi Kak Atika yang sangat hebat sekarang gitu Kak.
Iya. Jadi Miss siapa tadi, lupa saya namanya, Kak Alfi Zahra ya? Oh sorry bukan, Kak Aulia Rahma. Aulia Rahma tadi bertanyanya apa sih dorongan atau yang memotivasi dari Kak Atika untuk bisa menjadi seperti ini, jadi hebat, jadi keren, seperti itu ya?
Yes.
Okay, so this is going to be the last question of the participants, Miss Atika. So the question coming from Miss Aulia is that what makes you this motivational person? What motivates you to be this great person? You know, you have been through everything in such a difficult situation. So when you are in a low and then less of motivation, what motivates you a lot to grow better, Miss Atika?
Oh, thank you, Alia, for the question. Okay, let me be honest with you guys. I'm such a big procrastinator. That's first. I procrastinate a lot. If I have something to do, I just keep it to the last minute, just for you to know. And I really get a lot of time, most of the time I get a lot of low moods, moments where I'm not motivated, but I don't want to do whatever it is that I have to do. It's very, very, very normal. So if you feel the same, if you go through these moments of not feeling so well, not feeling so motivated, it's completely fine. As humans, we go through ups and downs, and it's very normal. And what I do is I embrace that feeling. I accept that feeling. I accept that as a human being, it is very normal to go through that state. And I just sit to myself and give time to myself. Because if you don't pause for a second, if you don't give time to yourself to reflect, to rest, to just think out loud and just reorganize yourself and set priorities again, that's not going to help you be productive, right? And so just embrace your feelings. But once you give time to yourself, then remember why you started. Always remember why you started. Remember the objectives that you set yourself. Remember the person that you always visualize and that you and that you want to become in the future, right? This actually happened to me. I'm going to give you a quick example. Happened to us when we were working on the mobile application for deaf and hard of hearing people. At a certain time, we were very demotivated. We wanted to give up, and we didn't want to continue working on the project and participate in a competition. Just were so exhausted and tired and not want to carry on. And then we had a meeting with deaf people that we were working with, and then this made us remember why we started working on the project in the first place. And then we decided that we should really fight and go till the end. So it is very, very important to remember why you started, the reason why you started all of this struggle, right? And as I said again and again, embrace it. Embrace your feelings, your extra feelings. Embrace them, accept them. It's totally fine. And just remember why you started, and get, just when you remember, you get that push again, that energy that makes you start over and do what you have to do. And here I want to talk earlier about a very important thing, is not comparing yourself. Do not compare yourself to anyone on this earth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's clear.
Hida, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Okay, so I was saying that it is very important not to compare yourself to anyone in this world, because you're not them and they are not you. You live different lives, you have different preferences, you have different personalities, and so just accept yourself as you are and work on your goals, and do not compare yourself with others. They can do whatever they want with their life, and you can do whatever you want with your life. They have a different career, you have a different career. They have a different background, you have a different background, and etc. You see, so do not compare yourself, because that can be very destructive. And just go there and do it. Accept those moments of feeling demotivated, and look forward to the you that is motivated, if you see what I mean. And there was a question about time management that is very important. I'm going to answer it at once, because you said that was the last question. That's a very important point, because you should always set priorities, get rid of unnecessary things to do, unnecessary tasks, things that you don't actually need. Get rid of them. Prioritize. Ask yourself, what's urgent, what should come first, right? And then you do it, and then you divide whatever you have to do into baby steps. I love calling them baby steps, like small steps. And then what I always do is I just use a Word document, and I write everything that I have to do. I do this when I want to organize, when I want to prepare for my finals exams. That's what I do. I take a Word document, I write every what I should do with every subject, and then once something is done, I turn it into green. So I write it in black, and then once something is done, I write it in green. And so the objective for me is to have everything in green, everything done. And then you set a time limit for every task, and then you try to stick to it and respect it. That's the importance. Again, I go back to the importance of discipline. So you stick to it and be disciplined, and try to respect that time limit that is allocated to each task. And then once you see that the list is becoming green, little by little, this is actually very motivating, and you would like to see everything in green at the end. So yeah, that's something that you can do in everything, not just studies, in everything in your life, in your professional life as well, in your personal life as well. And Aulia, as you said earlier, I hope I answered your question. And this was a question of Aditya Fakhri Riansi. I hope I answered, guys, your questions. And yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, I see. Me too. Thank you very much to you.
Iya, thank you very much
My
for Kak
pleasure.
Aulia Rahma.
Terima kasih kembali Kakak.
Okay, so everyone, we come to the end of this session, but beforehand, we see that as a youth, we have to have a self-development through everything that Miss Atika said. A lot of things that she explained really clear and well. Jadi untuk mengakhiri acara ini kita meminta Kak Atika untuk memberikan closing statement. So for Miss Atika, hello Miss Atika, could you hear me anyway?
Yes.
Yeah. So before we go on to the end of the session, could you please give us a little words for the closing statement, so it can encourages us more.
Sure. That's going to be a bit of a summary for everything that I said. I talked a lot today. All right. So I think the most important, I don't know if you guys are students or already working, but if you're still students, I will highly recommend getting involved in many activities, in many extracurricular activities, and the importance of community service, the importance of volunteering, the importance of helping others and giving without waiting something in return. This is something I didn't talk about, but this is something that is very important that we should all keep in mind. So the importance of volunteering, as it is something that will help us develop all of the competencies and abilities that we've talked about today. Self-confidence, self-esteem, critical thinking, problem solving, and everything else. So again, set objectives. Self-awareness first is the first thing. Self-awareness. Know who you are. Discover yourself, right? Sit with yourself and build a very positive connection with yourself, because yourself is the only person you will live with for the rest of your life. You're going to be with yourself all along your life, right? So build a very strong connection with yourself. Set objectives. Visualize the person you want to become in the future. Go through a lot of experiences and don't be afraid of trying new things. Take risks, but make them calculated. Calculate the risk that you're taking. And get out of your comfort zone. Get out there. Seize the opportunities, take the chance, go through experiences, take advantage of your youth, of your energy, of your time as a young person, and get out there and sell your competencies and tell the world what you're capable of. Always remember your achievements. Always remember all the beautiful things that you can do and that you can give to this world, and always have a vision of impacting other people's lives, and be not just be a consumer, but be also a producer who produces things, who serves the people surrounding them, and who is aspiring to make an impact, because we're all capable of making an impact. As small as it seems for you, we all can make an impact, right? And then once you get out of your comfort zone and you go through a lot of experiences, live a lot of experiences, and you get out there, you actually develop yourself. You are going through a process that is helping you become a self-fulfilled individual. And once you are a self-fulfilled individual, once you know who you are, once you know your objectives, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's clear.
Can you hear me now? Thank you. So once you know who you are, once you know your objectives, and once you work towards them, and you do not listen to others say of destructive comments, believe me, you become unshakable. You become unshakable. No one can ever influence you in any way they aim to. And have the courage to say no. Know when to say no and how to say it, and in which context. Don't say yes to everything. Don't assume everything we give you. Question everything. Ask questions. Do research. Ask people. Conduct competitive approaches, and keep a positive talk with yourself. Talk positively about yourself and about others. Don't waste your time talking about people, talking about what's positive, negative things. Talk about what's positive. Talk about self-development. Talk about growing. Talk about going through new experiences, and pay attention to your surrounding, your friends, the people you hang out with, and just make sure you're happy in the process. Just make sure you remember all the blessings you have. Just make sure you appreciate the present. You appreciate what you're going through right now, and always have a clear plan. Always have a structured plan, and always prioritize and manage your time effectively. Because every minute that goes, every second that goes, you could not go back to it. And so, know how to invest in your time. Know how to manage your time, and believe me, the world is going to be a better place for all of us if we apply these things, and always stay motivated and always stay happy.
Ya, jadi itu tadi teman-teman as a closing statementnya. Wait up, before we really end this station, Miss Atika, you said a bit about the cinema that you joined on a YouTube. Could you please share us about the channel?
Oh, channel is actually my name.
Oh, okay.
Atika Loualidi, and you can find there the movie. It's called it's actually in French, and I don't think we have subtitles. Sorry, they're not available. The movie was about people with special needs, and the importance of getting them in, the inclusion of people with special needs in the educational system. And then I made another one in 2018 that's called Ordeal. So the first one was when I was in high school, and the second one is when I was in first year of cinema school. It's called Ordeal. It was a criticism of not a destructive one. It's like showing the fact that to Moroccan youth and showing the problems of our Moroccan educational system and the importance that we give grades without actually giving importance to self-development. Again, we just tend to seek and look for good grades without paying attention to developing ourselves and our future and our career. So yeah, in my channel, so I'm just gonna write here, it's Atika.
Atika Loualidi. And also
people
Instagram account?
The Instagram. It's Atika Loualidi, like this, the Instagram, the IG account. The IG account is the second one, Atika Loualidi, and the name of the movie is Ordeal. And the Ordeal one, the titles are in English. They're available.
Okay, so thank you very much. We do really feel so better. Like, we got lots of great words and also positive talks from you. So it really encourages us. Thank you very much, Miss Atika. Now, it is the end of this station, everyone. I beg your pardon if perhaps there is something that hurts your heart. Kalau ada salah-salah dalam pengucapan atau banyak pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang belum terjawab, mohon maaf. Karena kita membatasi hanya 3, sudah jam berapa ini, sudah malam ya kan? So, I'm Hidahan right here as the moderator. Thank you for joining. Thank you for participating. Stay healthy, stay at home, stay safe, everyone. So, allow me to give the agenda back to the MC. Thank you.
Thank you, Hita.
Yeah.
It's nice meeting you.
Yeah, me too. It's nice to meet you now.
You should come to Morocco, you guys.
Yeah,
you're welcome. Once the borders are open.
What about the pandemic right there? What about the pandemic right there? What about the pandemic right there? Isn't there lockdown?
No, we're not on lockdown.
Oh shit. Oh, sorry. Oh my God. It's connecting, Miss Atika. We couldn't hear you any words. Okay, so come back to the MC, Miss Clara.
Okay, we have come to the end even. Many thanks to Miss Atika for material given to us. And thank you for moderator and participant who have watched the show from start to finish end. Dan terima kasih juga kepada teman-teman yang setia dari kita mulainya webinar sampai akhir acara kita hari ini. Baik, demikian acara kita pada webinar ini. Semoga materi yang telah disampaikan dapat bermanfaat dan dapat kita realisasikan dalam kehidupan kita sehari-hari. Dan sebagai bentuk dokumentasi kepada panitia, saat ini kita masuk pada acara sesi foto bersama. And please to Miss Atika, we will take photos as documentation. Miss Atika?
Yeah, Ms. Atika, so here we come to the end of this session, but beforehand, we would like to have a photo section together with all the participants and all the functionaries right here. Ms. Atika? Ms. Atika, are you right there? Or do you get a connecting? Ms. Atika? Yeah, I guess Miss Atika's connection is growing really bad.
Oke, sembari menunggu Miss Atikanya, baik kepada teman-teman kami, mohon waktunya memberi waktunya untuk berfoto bersama Miss Atika, dan mohon kepada teman-teman yang kameranya off, mohon untuk diaktifkan agar bisa ya. And to Miss Atika, we will take some photos. Are you there?
Oke, jadi teman-teman meskipun nggak ada Miss Atika, kayaknya sedang trouble di sana. Dari tadi kan kita sudah mendengar bahwasanya sinyalnya buruk di sana. Boleh deh kita langsung kita aja ya buat dokumentasi foto bareng semuanya. Yuk di on kan kameranya. Kepada panitia boleh kita ambil foto bersama-sama.
Smile.
Oke, di sini ada 4 slide, oke. 1, 2, 3. Oke, slide yang kedua. 1, 2, 3. Oke, masuk slide yang ketiga, guys. Oke, 1, 2, 3. Oke, the last slide. Oke. 1, 2, 3. Oke, maybe that's all. Saya serahkan kepada MC kembali, silakan.
Baik, karena rangkaian acara sesi sudah selesai, saya Clara Elizabeth Wau selaku MC undur diri dan mewakili para panitia yang bertugas, saya menyampaikan mohon maaf atas salah dan perbuatan. Akhir kata saya ucapkan terima kasih. Assalamualaikum, Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, dan salam kebajikan.
Oke, terima kasih semuanya. Oke, ada tambahan sedikit ya untuk teman-teman semua yang bertanya perihal terkait tentang absen, attendance ya. Kenapa tidak memasukkan email? Karena itu untuk pembuatan sertifikat, guys. Jadi untuk sertifikat teman-teman kita hanya sekedar memerlukan nama, oke? Dan juga saya meminta kritik dan saran. Nah, jadi saya meminta kritik dan saran dari teman-teman semua akan kegiatan ini. Kalau misalkan kegiatan ini katakanlah memang baik dan bagus, mungkin next kita akan buat lagi kegiatan webinar internasional dengan menghadirkan juga para pemateri-pemateri yang tentunya luar biasa juga, kayak gitu ya. Mungkin itu aja, that's all. Before I will thanks for the people ya, atas teman-teman semua yang telah hadir di kegiatan webinar ini. Mungkin next ditunggu untuk kegiatan selanjutnya antara Aroj Community dengan IMF Indonesia Millennium Friends untuk kegiatan selanjutnya. Thanks. Terima kasih.
Easy to be exactly who I was. My shit is done. Now it's time for me. Try to moving on. Cause if you think I'm such a happy person, no, you are wrong by saying my laughter is louder than yours. Shut your freaking mouth. No one knows what I feel and what I suffer. No, they don't know. So keep your thoughts and stop assuming that someone is always fine. I keep thinking when my friends let me, I can go insane. Mom was right about that, and now I can't trust again. But I think I don't really need no friends. I'm alone, it's not that bad. Then again, it hurts me so bad, and people just don't know that. Maybe this time I'ma take back what is mine. All the smiles, all the joys, those are mine. There will be no more crying. There will be no more trying. These places I never belong. Cause this guy now is gone. If you think I'm such a happy person, no, you are wrong by saying my laughter is louder than yours. Shut your freaking mouth. No one knows what I feel and what I suffer. No, they don't know. So keep your thoughts and stop assuming that someone is always fine. If you think I'm such a happy person, no, you are wrong by saying my laughter is louder than yours. Shut your freaking mouth. No one knows what I feel and what I suffer. No, they don't know. So keep your thoughts and stop assuming that someone is always fine.
If it's my right